Hey man, welcome back to the Superdivorce YouTube channel. Nicholas Villars here, aka Superdivorce, and tonight we're gonna go ahead here and continue this little devlog journey. This is the second edition. I won't be showing you anything too crazy this evening, but I do have a few more structures that I've made. Not structures that will appear in my game, you see. I am just learning how to use this program Blender at the moment. And last time, the very first time that I did one of these, I just showed you a few little buildings that I made based on some tutorials that I had been looking at. And since then, it's been a few days ago, I've created several more, and I figured I'd go ahead and show those. I'd put them up on the screen, but before I kind of go through them, I thought this would be good to do. I'm just going to play this video in the background while I blabber and blather for a second, because I realized after I showed off some of the stuff that I had done at the end of the last devlog, at the end of the very first one, I was thinking back about it, and I was like, what if people think I'm bullshitting? What if people think it's a ruse, and they're like, well, you're just showing us, you just open these files. Anyone could have done that. You might have just opened these files up. You might have downloaded these files from somewhere and just opened them on your computer, and now you're acting like you made these. So as I was doing one of these little structures, one of these buildings, I decided to go ahead and do a screen capture. That way you'd be able to see that I actually am doing this by hand. I'm not shortcutting it. I'm not using AI to do it for me. I'm not just downloading a file and then putting it up here and saying, look what I made, guys. I am following a fucking tutorial. So this isn't out of the top of my dome. I'm just going through all of these. It's a course. It's a whole course on Udemy. And every lesson is like a different building. And every building will have different sorts of shit that you have to do, different tools you have to use, different methods you have to employ to make the shapes, to make things work. And so as a completely fresh noob to the Blender game, I thought that would be something good for me to do before I start actually trying to create the world of my game. Because you jump in here, you open it for the first time, and you're like, what am I looking at? What is all this stuff? I don't even know what's going on. So I feel much more comfortable now just kind of waltzing around in here. I kind of know in my mind. Actually, I made some things probably during this course that are a bit more complicated than anything I'm going to have to do when laying out the basic map for the game that I'm making, because sort of the setting is not what would you say, architecturally complex. It's a pretty simple type of building. I'm not going to give anything away about that yet. I'm not letting the cat out of the bag just yet. We're going to slow roll it. We're going to slow walk it as we divulge information around here about the game that I'm making. But I feel confident now. I made my way through this course. I did however many buildings there were to do, put all of them together by hand. As you can see right here, this is me working in Blender, and this is kind of what the process was like. I mean, it's kind of clunky. I'm not zipping around yet. As you can see, if you watch along here, there's some things that I do, and I'll have to back up and stop and do something again, and that's okay because we're still learning. We're just learning the ropes. Hey, Jess. Howdy do. Are you playing your game yet? So you can, right here, this was a pagoda that they had me build. I built this pagoda. That's what I'm doing right here. So you had to make the little top hat to go on top of the base structure, and then you just grab these guys. What I'm going to do here next is select everything. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to select it all. Should go ahead and select all of this in just a second. I think that's what's going to happen. I think I'm going to do that. Why am I not doing that? Maybe I took a break. Maybe I stepped away. Here we go. See, I'm selecting everything. Got all the bases, all the top hats. We're going to copy and paste and then drag that up just like that. There you go. And then you just have to scale it down. And then you can slap that right on top here. And then it's almost finished as far as those parts go. Then you're going to have to just grab one more, like this guy right here. Just copy and paste that one, put it plop right on top. And that'll be all the little pagoda pieces. But, you know, it's that's how it works. It's a pagoda, not a vagoda. Not Abe Vigoda. God rest his soul. Poor Abe Vigoda. He lived a nice, ripe, old life, didn't he? That Abe Vigoda. Tigical's here. Or Tygical. Tigical, Tygical, Tygical. Maybe it's first name Ty, last name Gickle. But I'm gonna guess Tigical. Tigical said Bellender. Bellender. If you said that in the UK, they might think that you were doing a curse word. Sometimes people in the UK will call other people a bellend as a derogatory turn of phrase, referencing the bell end of the male member. And I was right. Okay, it was Tigical. Fantastic. Well, thanks for stopping by. So, anyway, I just had video playing here real quick just to prove that I was actually doing this, because I was not showing you previously any of my actual tinkering around. But this is what it looks like being a noob and trying to learn and trying to do a good job. I'm trying to do a good job so that when I put my game together, I'm going to know a little bit more about what's going on here in Bellender. But I'm just going to grab, we got to do another one here. I'm not doing this live. This is a video. I'm showing a video that I recorded of one of these little sessions where I was working on one of these tutorials on how to create this pagoda. So you slap that guy down right there. Then you can kind of come in, you know, swizzle it out there. But we can just we can skip ahead a little bit. I'll show you what it looks like in the final. You had to make this little rod up on top. That was a little tricky to get all that structured just nice, just the way it's supposed to be. So then I started coloring it in. I'll show you the okay, let me go ahead and let me pause that. Stop by to see what I was doing, but you're about to go to sleep, so good night. Might show up another time. Well, sounds good. Thanks for popping in. I hope you have a fantastic sleep and wonderful, sweet, sweet dreams. And I hope to see you again some other time, Tigical. So let's go back over to my my window cap. Got the window cap here. Here's my actual Bellender program. So I can go ahead and open up the pagoda. Yeah, this is... Oh, that was the other pagoda. This was a different one. This was another pagoda that they had me do. So it looks similar, you know, it's got that little swizzly guy up on top. It's got that little rod. But as you can see, the top hat sections have a little flippy-do. They're kind of flipping out like that. You know, it's a little more ornate, I think. And we've got some different colors happening there. We got some pinks and reds and gold up on the top. You know, it's just nice. So that's how that looks. That was the other pagoda. Let me find the one that I was just showing the video of. Where was that? That was the Chinese pagoda. There it is. So that's the video that I was just showing. That was the finished product. Rendered. That's what it looks like. You get some light shining on it. You know, just stuff like that. Back to material preview. What's up, Jorfus? Hello, brother. Last time we saw the blue house, we saw the castle with the red turret, we saw cubes jacked off, we saw the big pink house, and now let me show you, here's a church that I did. Here's a cute little church, as you can see there. Let's do the rendered view. Got the light shining on top on the cross there, just nice. Some blue stained glass windows here. Just a nice simple church building. Nothing too crazy. And then what else do we have after that? We've got the church, we've got the lighthouse. Here's the lighthouse. I guess there it is. I was like, where'd the color go? There it is. Because I knew I colored it in. I colored everything, I think. All right, Jess. Have fun with the kitty. Tell all your friends at the island that I said hello. So that's the lighthouse. You can imagine Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe hanging out here, going crazy with each other. That's just a lighthouse. Just cute stuff like that. We've got, what next? A log cabin. I made this log cabin, guys. This was an interesting one. This one kind of gave me fits for a minute. I had some issues with this one that I had to sort out. Here's something interesting. Okay? Here's a little something. Jorfer said making a Zelda type of game, I see. No, none of this is actually going to be in the game that I'm making. Let me be clear about that. These are all just kind of practice buildings. Just things that I have created to help me learn how to use this program in different ways. So none of what I'm showing here is actually going to be in my game. This is all just the very, very early stages. I wanted to start like at the rock bottom, starting at ground zero. I guarantee you not many devlogs have started where I'm starting here. Probably because it's kind of boring, actually. But I wanted a record of it, so it's like, why not? Why not start right here, ground level, where you can see me learning how to do it, you know? Because maybe that'll inspire someone down the road. If you know, a lot of devlogs, it's people who've been doing it a while, and you don't get to see them learning how to make games. It's like once they learn how to make games, then they would start doing a devlog. Maybe this is the wrong way to do it. But for that reason I just mentioned, for inspirational reasons, then I think it's kind of cool to have this part of the journey logged as well, to have a record of it. So that maybe sometime down the road, maybe if my game does well, people will be like, well, how do you suppose someone can get started doing this? Superdivorce. What could I do? Where should I start? Where should I begin? What if I don't know anything? And I'll say, that's no problem. Go and check out my devlog series and see where I started. I didn't know anything. I started my devlog series on day one of me making video games in this program, in Blender, learning it as I'm going along. So Ghouly's here, by the way. What's up, Ghouly? He said, it's been way too long, my friend. And hold up, where's my wrench and why is it a shield? Is it a shield? I don't know. I'm looking and I see a wrench still. I don't know why it would be a shield instead of a wrench. I'm not seeing that, Ghouly. We're not seeing the same thing. We're not on the same wavelength right now. I don't know what's going on with that. But yes, good to see you. It has been way too long. I'm glad you could stop by. But what I was saying about this log cabin is it was giving me fits because I'm following these tutorials, right, in this class that I'm doing that I just completed, actually. I got through all the lessons last night. And it was a little tricky at times because the tutorial that I've been following, all those lessons were recorded using an earlier version of Blender. And also the guy was using a Mac. So some of the hotkey stuff that he was doing did not match up. And also his layout looked way different. It looked like almost a completely different program. I just had to find what he was doing in my, in my view here, in my version of the program, and try to follow along that way. So there's a lot of like pausing, stopping for a minute, trying to figure out where the hell I was supposed to go, because I couldn't just look at what his screen was doing and copy him, because when he would click on something on his screen, on mine, it was in a completely different place. And it was like I had to track this shit down and figure out what's what. So it added a new challenge, but I think it was good because it made me memorize more of what was going on my screen than I would have had to do if I was just following one-to-one. If I was following a tutorial that looked exactly like what I saw on my screen here, then it would have made things easier for me. It was a little more difficult than that. So I had to kind of just had to kind of root around and sort it out as I go, just jump off and free fall. But anyhow, yeah, this is a log cabin. So what you had to do here is first you had to just make a single log. Just start with one log. That's what I did. I started with one log here, and then you copy and paste that log, put it up top, kind of twist it a little bit so it's not just stacked up the same way over and over again. Copy and paste another one up here, turn that a little bit, and do that until you got one side. And then you could copy and paste that whole side, or rather, we didn't copy and paste. You can actually mirror things in this program. So once you got this side completed, you go over in here and you're like, you set up a mirror and it mirrors it over here. Then you copy and paste another one right here, mirror it back here, then you can put them all together and blah, blah, blah. But I'm trying to give you a little bit of inside baseball so you know that I'm kind of learning, that I'm not completely lost, that I'm kind of figuring stuff out. That hopefully by the time I sit down to begin constructing my in-game world, I'll be able to actually do it. It's not going to suck. I don't want it to suck. That wouldn't be very much fun if I make a shitty in-game world. You can't have a shitty in-game world. You know why? It's like a comic book. You know what I mean? You flip it open. If the art sucks, you're just going to put it right back down. If a game doesn't look good, if it doesn't look intriguing, if it doesn't have a little something to it, then people are just they're going to swipe left. They're going to move right on. They're going to scroll right past it. So I want this interior, I want my game world to pop. I want it to be just nice. And that's why I'm putting this work in. So, but yeah, there were a few issues with putting this together that the tutorial did not account for. And I just had to I had to mess around with it. And I'm using no AI in the construction of the game. I'm not having AI write code. I'm not having AI generate any graphics for me. The only thing that I've used Grok for is basically for troubleshooting. The same way that I would use like a forum. Because I just think it's much more efficient. That's been a pain in my ace over the years, is like when you run into a technical problem and you go Googling, you can't find like a quick answer anywhere, so you start looking up videos, you start scouring forums. How do I do this? Oh, I ran into this problem. No one's had it before. Now what? Blah, 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 blah. You got to find someone who's suffering from something similar to what you're going through, and then it doesn't always work. Sometimes you just get stuck forever. You create an account. You go into a forum. You make a post. No one comments back. You wait for days. You can get around that if you have a decent AI system that you can ask technical questions to. And that's how I'm using AI. So I can't say that the game is going to be made completely AI free, because I have used it, like I said, for troubleshooting, but not for any content generation, which is the big one. So like you can say your game is AI free, made without the use of AI on Steam and such, as long as no AI writes any code for you, and as long as you don't have any final, let's say, graphics in the game that were created by AI. You can use AI for like concept art, as long as you change it and you've got something different in the final product. But I'm not even doing that. So just for basically like an advanced search engine, that's how I'm using it, and it has been helpful. Yeah. Let's see. So there's that. Let's see what else we got here. We've got this little store. Made this cute little store right here. You can imagine this maybe being like a little bakery of some kind. I think this would be probably a little bakery. Don't you think? In a more advanced version, you'd have little pastries and cakes in the window, and walk through the door, a cute little chime plays, maybe some soothing background music. Let's see what it looks like with the, there you go. There it is, rendered. Nice and vapor wavy. So I like that one. That was just a little cute one. Here we have a green office building. You got the green on the facade. You got the little lights on inside. You can imagine people hanging out in their little apartments. These are just kind of like little balcony areas there. Your little low poly guardrails, if you will. We've got another office building, a blue one. It should be. Yeah, there you go. There's a blue office building. Got a little bit different look to it. Just slightly different. And then I did an Eiffel Tower. It's a low poly Eiffel Tower. That's way too dark. Where'd the light go? Shed some light on this thing. See, this reminds me kind of the one over at Kings Island down the road. It's not the full-size Eiffel Tower. It's just like a facsimile. It's just a little cute version of it. No big deal. We did a Greek temple. We're not going to save that. There's a Greek temple for you. There it is with some lighting thrown on it. A little more sophisticated. Come over here and read some philosophy books. Sit down, read a little Plato, a little Socrates. What are you talking about? Nicotine. Instead of being ethic, you make it prohibited. Nicotine, not nicotine. But what? And then I showed you the pagodas. We got a Taipei right here. There's your old-fashioned Taipei with some little medallion coins down here. That's kind of a fancier building. That's a little more advanced. That was more along the lines like the pagoda. I would say the pagodas were maybe the most intricate as far as the angles and different shapes and things. The most difficult was probably the log cabin, if I had to pick one, though. And then what else do we got? I showed you that pagoda. Yeah, there. It's kind of like, reminds you like a cherry blossom. A little bit. Cherry blossom pagoda. Sounds like a book that Lori Gilmore would write. The Cherry Blossom Pagoda. And we had the Chinese pagoda there. Going through that one more time. And I guess that was all of them. I think that's everything. And then, just to review, there is the very first thing I did in Blender. That was the very first construction. That little guy right there. So, you know, we went from just a humble little house to this ornate pagoda, to our Greek temple right here. I mean, quite a bit different. Quite an upgrade to go from that little house to this beautiful Greek temple, or perhaps, you know, even the log cabin. Quite a bit more difficult to create. But yeah, oh, I just want wireframe mode. I don't want to do that. Ghoulies missed the streams big time. It's nice to be back. Well, I'm glad that you're glad that we're back. It is good to be back. I don't know. I'm not going to be doing these on any particular schedule, so just keep your eye out. When I have stuff to share, then I'll get on here and share it. And, you know, I'm working on getting to a point in Fatal Frame where I can actually continue playing it because I want to, but I got not exactly soft locked, but I got to a point where I couldn't go in and fight. I couldn't fight the fight that I have to fight. Let me say that. Because it's like, as soon as I walk into this room, I get hit and I die. There's no health. So I had to go around the entire mansion just looking for health and hopefully get enough to be able to continue in the game to make my progress. So I did that a little bit a few days ago, but I still don't have enough. I don't feel good about it yet. Still trying to gather some more health, some more items, some more photograph film so that I can fight the ghosts by snapping their pictures. Got to do that. But we'll be doing Fatal Frame again at some point. Hopefully not too long. Am I going to add boobs to the game? Are there going to be any boobs in my game? No, probably not. Probably not in the game that I'm making. I don't think so. It would not be appropriate if I had boobs in my game. So, I can't spill the beans. I'm not going to say anything else about it, but no, I can't put boobs in my game. Wouldn't want to do that. But maybe down the road. I'm not averse to having boobs in games. Obviously, I've played many games with boobs on this channel, so I'm all for it. If it's the right place and time, it's just not the right place and time with the game that I'm creating, and we'll have to wait and see. We might get a Superdivorce booby game down the road. So if that's what you're hoping for, just keep your fingers crossed. It might happen. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying never. It's just not going to be this one. Okay? So, anyhows, there's our stuff. That's all the shit that I created throughout this little course I took. And again, now I feel like I can begin to create the, let's say, structure that I need to create to make my game. I feel good about it now. Not that I'm not going to run into some issues, but I feel like whatever I run into, I'll be able to handle it. When I first sat down and opened this program, my heart skipped a beat. My stomach dropped a bit. Got that pit in my stomach because I was like, oh my gosh, what have I gotten into here? Oh boy, I don't know anything. I don't know how to do any of this. I don't know what any of these things mean, any of these buttons, any of the goings on. But like I said last time, you just got to slow down, calm down, do the learning, and you can get there. If someone else made a game, you can make a game too. That's the way I look at it. We're not dealing with all rocket scientists here. It's not like every game developer is Albert Einstein. I've seen some of these people talk on the internet. I won't go into particulars, but I've seen some of these people say some things, and it's like, well, I'm at least as smart as that guy. I can't be intimidated to get started on this. I can do this. You can do this. If you want to do this, you can do it. That's all I'm saying. So, I think that's about all I wanted to show you tonight. That's about all I got. So, I hope that this has been enjoyable to take a look at a few little structures that I've created here in Blender. The next time I show off something on one of these dev streams, these devlog streams, I'll be showing you something that I have made from my own heart and from my own soul, not something that I've created just from watching a tutorial or a class. I'm gonna show you something that I've done. And I won't be able to show you everything, but I will show you probably just like maybe a corner. I'll show you a little cozy corner of the building that I'll be building. I can't show you the whole thing because that'll give away way too much. Also, it's not going to be fully decorated. You know, I won't be painting it and stocking it with all the things it needs to be stocked with yet. But I'll have the general structure outlined. I'll show you a little bit of it next time. That's when we'll do our next devlog stream, is when I've got a cozy corner to show you. Okay. What are you saying? Treat girls like boys. Be goofy. Talk about life. Games. Make jokes. Oh, I totally missed that. Way up there. Ghoulie said that he asked someone to prom and you got denied. Why? What's the problem? What the hell happened? You struck up a good conversation, but it didn't work out. Well, what's the reason? Did she give you a reason? Was that it? Nah. I want to go with Joey Baggins. Nah, I'm kind of waiting to see what Marco Antonius has going on for the prom. Did she say something like that? Or was it just like, oh, I don't know. What the heck? You know? Like, what's the deal? Did she just leave you hanging? Did you say, hey, you want to go to prom? And she was like, no. And then she just walked away. Because I can't imagine, like, I don't, I can, I mean, unless, I don't know. That just, that's a tough nut to crack. If I were a nutcracker, that'd be like you put a nut in my mouth, but it was coated in metal, and then you tried to push the lever down and it just wouldn't crack. That's what that situation's like when I'm trying to analyze it. It's like it's a nut covered in metal, and I'm just a wooden nutcracker with this kind of brittle little handle on the back. And it's like, if you keep pushing down, the thing's going to snap. And my mouth is going to be broken. And then you're going to have to throw me in the trash because people will try and set it out, and he's all slack-jawed all the time. People are like, what happened to this nutcracker? Well, I tried putting a nut covered in metal in his mouth, and it wouldn't work. That's what this feels like. It feels like there's a metal nut in my mouth, and they're trying to push that lever down, and it's just creaking and creaking. And he said the reason was because she and her brother, who's a freshman, are really close and wanted to spend as much time as possible together. So what? What the fuck? That's one of these. I'm sorry. I don't like that. No, Jorfa said it's nice. I'm not going to take the high road on that. I don't like that at all. I think that's horse shit. Now, of course, that's if that's her prerogative, if that's how you want to spend your senior prom, hey, man, all right, fine. Go for it. You look back on your life and ask if that was necessary. I don't think so. I think you're going to have plenty of other opportunities to do nice and fun things with your brother. You're going to go to your senior prom with your freshman brother. Who's to say, what did he, like, has this already been worked out? Was this like this is something they planned like a year ago? When you get to high school, I think it'd be cool if you go to the senior prom with me. When he was in 8th grade or whatever, when they come up, I think it'd be cool if we went together. Like, or did that just happen? Or is she just assuming that's what it's going to be? What if, oh, well, I guess normally freshmen, hold on. Are freshmen even allowed to go to prom? I feel like you had to be at least a junior. Or maybe that's to go by yourself. Maybe an upperclassman can take a freshman. Maybe they can take a frosh to prom if they want to. But I don't like that at all. You've got Christmas, you got Thanksgiving, you've got birthdays, you've got all the fixins. You know, that's not, I think that's weird. I think that's really odd. I don't know of anyone, I can't remember anyone in my school ever going to a dance with a sibling. I don't think it's that girls don't like you. Maybe this is a nice girl. That's fine. But you can find yourself a woman out there who has not made this kind of arranged dance thing with her freshman brother. I'm sure you can do that. So look at it as a blessing in disguise. You're going to find a lady who wants to actually, go to the prom with a date, not her brother. I can't even imagine slow dancing like through the night to romantic songs with your brother. I wouldn't do that with my sister. I would not have of course, your sister gets married, you have a dance with her, whatever, that's fine. But as a date, I would not have taken my sister to my prom. I could have. That would have been really odd. I wouldn't have done that. That thought would not have occurred to me at all. I would never have had that thought. That's not something that ever would have come to my mind. When I'm going through the Rolodex in my mind, when I'm going through my brain to figure out who do I want to go to prom with, one name that never would have flashed on the screen of the theater of my mind is my sister's name. That would not have happened. And I'm thankful for that. And so I think you should be thankful, perhaps. So you got another development here. To make matters worse, one of your good friends said that she would have gone with you, but her boyfriend, who graduated last year, was not on board with it, and she and her are purely platonic. Well, again, crisis averted. Because you don't want to take... look, we don't have to mince words. It's supposed to be a romantic evening. I've never gotten into any of this let's go as friends horse shit. I've never liked it. I've never been a fan of it. I've never done it. It's not something that I did when I was in school. If I asked a girl to a dance, it was because I wanted her to, like, maybe she was my girlfriend, or maybe I wanted her to be my girlfriend, and this was like on the road to possibly making that happen. But I would not have asked a girl to go with me just as a friend. Now, I didn't always have a date. I did go, I think, one year, just stag. You going stag, they call it, you know? So if you're going to go stag, that's one thing. But trying to kind of shack up with a girl who's just like your BFF, I've never liked that. I think that's a bunch of garbage, malarkey. It's horse wallop. It's a bunch of shit. It's supposed to be a romantic evening. You're dancing in close quarters, hands on hips, hands around the neck, faces inches apart, slow dancing to romantic music, or possibly to, sexy hip-hop songs with grinding and shaking and turning about. And you want to do that with your sister or a platonic friend? I don't think so, pal. So, you've still got time, though. You've still got time to find a romantic partner for your dance. It's not over yet. Don't give up. Don't start dooming too much just yet. There's still time. These are just, I think, you can imagine these things that have happened as, they're little guideposts. You were heading in the wrong direction. It wasn't supposed to be that one. You went over here. No, it's not supposed to be that one either. Just get back on the road. Just get back on the road. Well, I'm sure that they still play hip-hop music. They're probably playing pop songs, pop music. They might play some Nelly. They might play It's Getting Hot in Here. They might play country grammar. They might play some Outkast. I'm not saying it's going to be strictly hip-hop the whole time. But they will probably play a few hip-hop songs, will they not? They're not going to play Disney music. They're not going to play the Frozen soundtrack all night, are they? They're going to play top 20 hits. They're going to play Sabrina Carpenter. You're going to be dancing about the espresso, They're going to play Taylor Swift. They're going to play Sabrina Carpenter. They're going to play Olivia Rodrigo. They're going to play this kind of stuff. They're going to play Bad Bunny. And you don't want to be slowly grinding against your sister ever in your life. Ever. Especially not at the high school dance. And when you tell me to chill out, it's a good way to get me more worked up, Jorphus. You should know that by now. I don't take orders concerning my my mental state. Tell me to chill out, I'm probably going to ramp it up. You know, slowly grinding against... that would be preferable, actually. You know, if you're slowly grinding against yourself, at least it's not incestuous. Yeah, you might get thrown out. You might be escorted out of the building by security when people see you slowly grinding against yourself in the corner of the gym, eyeballing, you know, whatever girl you've had your eye on all night. Oh, if only she would come here with me. I guess I'll just have to slowly grind against myself here in the corner. Sir, you're going to have to come with us. No, I wasn't doing anything. No, come on. Don't make a scene. Don't make a scene. We can do this quietly. Just come with us. You're going to have to go. We will call the police if you don't come with us now. So don't do that. Don't do that. Don't grind against yourself. Don't try to discreetly crank the hog to Usher's yeah. Don't do that. Don't even try to hide behind the bleachers or some place that you think might be secluded. They got cameras everywhere these days. Someone's going to see it. And you're going to wind up on the internet. You're going to be famous in all the wrong ways. So watch out. Be careful. Shake it fast, but watch yourself. But don't give up and manifest it. You know, you've got to know you're not going to be there by yourself. It's not going to happen. Not this time. There is some lady out there just waiting for you. Not in a platonic way. Not in a you're my relative way. But there's a lady that you're not related to who would like to give you a kiss on the lips. And you just have to find out who it is. Okay? And that's what we're all rooting for around here. That's all we've been rooting for you for ages now. It's going to happen. Okay? You have to believe it, though. I can believe it all I want to. If you don't buy in, then it can't work. You're going to have that confidence. You've got to know. It's all good. I got it in the bag. I just haven't made the connection yet, but it's going to happen. You got to know. You got to be like when Atreyu is crossing between the two statues in the Neverending Story. He's got to believe in himself to make it through before he gets zapped by the lasers. So you got to be like that. Don't be Goonie, dude. Anyway, I think now I'm probably going to head out for the evening and maybe do some light reading before bed. So I hope that you guys have a wonderful night. Thanks for hanging out. It's good to see you guys. Good to see you, Ghoulie and Jorphus. And hopefully I'm able to bust some ass and get this project going, fast track it so I can come back and show you guys something cool very soon. And I hope that you'll be here for it. So keep an eye out for your notifications to whatever extent they work in 2026. And I don't know. But if you don't catch it live, then you can always go back and watch. Yeah. The stream did get longer. Yeah, it did. But It's shriveling up now. The stream is shriveling up. It's reached its climax and now returning to normal size, and we'll head out and hope to catch you guys next time. So thanks again for watching, everybody, and Ghoulie, good luck. Keep your head up. Be confident. Okay? I still believe. I believe. Until next time, everyone, take real good care. Keep kicking ass. Love you lots. Lord willing, be back very soon with another video for you to watch. Bye-bye.